What's up, Capstone family? This is Ed Drummond with Capstone coming at you on this Friday, the 5th of March. We're already into March. It's looking pretty amazing that the market is still running like it is from all sounds of things with jobs and everything that's happening. It sounds like the economy is still moving in the right direction, which is awesome. And here in Arizona, there is no different. We're seeing more places open up here in this last couple of weeks. Restaurants are getting busier again. Traffic is getting busier as well. And realistically, like things are seemingly getting back to normal. Kind of fun being able to witness it and looking at it week to week. I was looking through some of these videos here in the last couple of days and was just like, oh my gosh, like look at the types of things we were talking about back then. So it's crazy how far we've come in this year. To where, I mean, this was about the same time that we were starting to do these videos because COVID was just starting to hit, and it was just becoming a thing. A year later, and a lot of growth, a lot of change, and I know a lot of our clients have been affected in a lot of different ways. So thanks for watching these with me and being a part of that. Hey, so now getting into the market. So what's happening in the market right now? And a lot of people are contacting us, and everyone thinks that there's going to be this time where they're going to take the money out of the market, hunker down, and wait for the market to collapse. In theory, we saw that before. The reasons for seeing that were completely different than the market that we're in right now, and this is a legit supply and demand issue. Not only that, one of the key components to our market and a stability factor that we saw from before was when the builders get to a point where they're having to keep their pricing and starting to slow down on their pricing. We start to see it on the resale side. We catch up, and then it's like, wait a minute, we can't be valued at the same as a new build, so we got to come off that a little bit. In this case, the struggle is that these new home builders are having trouble first completing these jobs. I mean, if any one of you knows someone that's bought a new build here in the last 6 months, or even the last year, there's an exceptionally high probability that they're not meeting their deadlines. They're pushing it out months, even 3 to 6 months for timeline to get the thing built because they just don't have the resources to get it done. One of those resources is wood. The lumber, the price has gone up in some places by 3 times, right? 300% increase in price. It sounds like now we're down back to about 2.5 times, but it's still one of those issues that the builders have to keep increasing their pricing to be able to even make a profit. So I think realistically, we're going to see this for a while. If you are reading the business journal, that Taiwan semiconductor plant that they're putting in up in northern, Peoria, Phoenix area, 303 and the 17 where they connect, that was slated to be like a $12 billion project, which as of this week, it sounds like is now going to be like a $35 billion project. So good grief. There's going to be a lot going on up there. And if you own property that is rental up in that area, you might want to pay attention to what's going on there to see if your exit is coming sooner than later. Again, I think for most of our sellers right now, it is a great market. However, I don't necessarily recommend that everybody race to sell what they have because I think that there's still a ton of upside potential, and it really just depends on where your property is. There are some properties in some neighborhoods right now that there's a ton of potential, just like that one, right? Up in the North Phoenix area. Over in Paradise Valley, like we've got the Paradise Valley Mall, which is getting raised, and they are putting up another Kierland. I mean, can you imagine another Kierland only, 4 miles from the other one? But it's just, it's creating this insulated little capsule, and a lot of builders and a lot of people, that are paying attention to what's going on see that neighborhood as the next Arcadia here in town. So lots of great things happening. Depending on where your property is, let us know if you have any questions about selling it or what that strategy might look like. We do offer, of course, a rebated commission for selling the property and putting all of our work and effort into it above and beyond what most realtors would do because we have the resources to do so. But we also like to help you guys sell it to a tenant if that makes sense. How often does a tenant get to the place where they're able to actually buy it? There's a lot that goes into it, and usually it's timing that prevents that from happening. But yes, we do offer a program that makes that even easier for them to do so. So let us know if you have questions on that, and we're hoping that your tenant would buy. Going to leasing just for a quick minute. This month we've got a lot more properties that are hitting the market. Quick stat for you, which is super interesting. In 415 properties that we managed, only 3 of them went to evictions last year. One of which I told you about, which was that AG violation complaint that came back at us that we're absolved from, which is amazing. And of course, we were expecting it to go that way, but you just never know. And then the other 2 were also, all 3 of the ones we did were all just the ones that are as tough as you can think of, because generally it's not because somebody just can't pay rent. It's because they're bad actors in the play, right? They're the ones that are the ones that are trying to get something for nothing or make it harder for other people. Great tenants that we have that are providing everything that we need to ensure that they can stay in the property and go through the City of Phoenix's programs for helping and assistance and that type of thing. We treat it like we can, and at the end of the day, we've got to watch out for your property and take care of that. But I was super stoked to see that it was only 3 of those out of all of those properties. You hear all this stuff on the news as to what's happening in Arizona, and fortunately, that's not really happening here at Capstone. So if you have questions about what we do different, I can tell you. Like now, I know so many property management owners. Like these, I do my best to stay on top of the market and to really pay attention to what others are doing that's successful and not. And it helps us moving forward and making sure that our services stay top of mind and the best that they can be, as we are going to continue to change and bring you all what we feel is the best service that's out there. If you have suggestions, if you have comments, I'd love to hear it. I love taking calls and talking shop and really going through, seeing how we can better our services for you. But more than that, just continue to provide the service that you guys have come to expect. I appreciate you. Feel free to subscribe, like this if you would. It really helps out a lot in just making sure we're pushing this thing the right direction and getting you all the content that you're looking for. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend.